let's talk about NBA Summer League. Because one of the things that I think is an emerging story for your Utah Jazz is Trent Forrest. Now, Trent Forrest is playing really well, and because he's as good as Damian Lillard, he waves goodbye to the Dallas Mavericks last night. Idiot. But Trent Forrest is, I think, easily the best guard in NBA Summer League. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He's played really well. He's shot pretty well. He has definitely passed, distributed, lobbed really well. Made the game-winning free throws in sudden death last night. But, Jake, what does all of it mean? And really the question is, does it mean anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Summer League is one of those situations where obviously the games are meaningless, but there's a big opportunity for guys to, sort of separate themselves and kind of make some noise and get some excitement, building around who they are as a player and what they can do on the floor. And I think a guy like Trent Forrest, I'm sure he understands the opportunity that's in front of him this coming year, which is, he can get more time on the floor this year. He can get to a place where he's able to back up Mike and hopefully bring some solid production to the team. Now, as far as the waving to the bench stuff, I mean, I didn't really have too much of a problem with it just because you're in the moment, you're playing a game, it's a tight game, and you made the big free throw to win the game. Okay, cool. I didn't really have too much of an issue with it. But yeah, that's definitely not anywhere near what Dame did. It's totally different. So, does Summer League mean anything? In the big picture, no, it doesn't. But in the small picture, in the developmental picture for certain players and situations, I do think Summer League, has a big impact. If we didn't have Summer League, we wouldn't see these guys and we wouldn't know really what they had to offer, until camp. But you've got guys like Azubuike, you've got guys like Trent Forrest, you've got, all these guys that they have working out, doing their thing, making a name for themselves, showing that they have value. And that to me is why Summer League, has some importance to it. Now, if you're the starters for the Utah Jazz, this is like the varsity team watching the freshmen, right? In high school. You're just showing up, you're having a nice time, gonna go get a drink in Vegas after the game. You're gonna be good. You're chilling. You're enjoying the off season. So I think it really depends on who you are. If you're playing in the Summer League, it means everything to you. If you're Donovan Mitchell, you're having a nice time enjoying the offseason, seeing what the bench guys can do. To me, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I find that is so fascinating about Summer League is that it really doesn't mean much. Even if you win the Summer League MVP or the championship tournament MVP at the Summer League, what does it really mean? Because there's not a lot of guys who have won that honor and then gone on to be like NBA superstars. Damian Lillard is probably the biggest name. He split that. But it's guys like Nate Robinson, who, hey, you had a decent career, but you just got knocked the out in a boxing match, right? So my point is, I don't know that Summer League means very much at all. It's a confidence booster, there's no doubt. And after the shaky moments that we saw from Trent Forrest, it is really nice to see Trent balling out. But like I look at Udoka Azubuike, like blocking shots and dunking, and is Dope going to play 15 minutes a game? Probably not.
Yeah, it's probably going to be less than that, but I also think that he's brought some value on the floor here. I mean, at least now you can say that the guy can play. I mean, for the longest time, this was a guy who just kind of sat on your bench and ate space. I mean, at least now we can legitimately say that the guy has value. He can do some things for you, and he's going to be a perfectly fine garbage time, third guy off the bench type dude. That's where he is right now. So, I think for the Jazz specifically, Summer League and basically this offseason have been a home run. You crushed it in the draft. You've crushed it in free agency. Now Summer League is going pretty well for you. So you're almost building off of this momentum if you think about it. You suffered this crushing loss in the playoffs. It was not how you wanted your season to end, but you were able to rebound from that by doing really well in the draft. Now you've got the Summer League going well, and now it kind of feels like you have a little bit of momentum. Not a ton or anything, but you're just like, yeah, we're doing good. We're feeling good. We had a good offseason. Everything's going fine. Don's healthy, putting up videos with Brickley. Everything's fine. And then that allows you to head into camp feeling good about yourself. So that's just kind of where I think things are at for the Jazz right now.
Yeah, and It's nice to see the young guys really showing out. And so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's meaningless. I'm not saying that at all. But when you look at Jared Butler, you look at, obviously, you brought back Mike Conley. And now all the stories about how Mike Conley recruited Rudy Gay and, Conley's the reason that Gay's here. And, hey, that's all well and good. How many guards can you play at this point? I think Jared Butler is a guy that you need to really show early on. And it's unfortunate he can't play in Summer League, but that's probably better than worse because now he's getting healthy, building skills, doing all the stuff that you want guys to be doing. So it'll be interesting to see. But, I have to believe that Jared Butler's your backup point guard, right? Like, he's your number 2.
I would think so, but who the hell really knows at this point? That would be the logical choice. But, again, like, think of it this way. Again, not to be an asshole about it, but, assuming that Mike Conley misses his usual 20 to 25.
We don't curse on this show.
Is asshole a curse word?
Yeah. Yes.
Is it really?
Yes. You don't think a-hole's a curse word?
No, I didn't think so.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, it is. Go ahead. Finish your point.
I did not to be rude to Mike Conley, but assuming he misses his usual 20 to 25 games, Butler's going to have an opportunity to get a lot of run. So he needs to be legit. He needs to be ready. He needs to be serviceable. He needs to be able to, do some things. He needs to be able to initiate the offense and kind of get them going. So we'll see. Yes, right now is he the backup? Absolutely. Other than that, I don't really know. Like, if he's going to be your backup number 1, then that automatically means that Trent Forrest is your backup number 2, right? That's basically what we're saying. So that's why I say I think there's options. And then I think, Elijah Hughes is an interesting situation because of his size. You can do so much with him. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see like where he gets minutes as well.
Yeah, and you know what? Frankly, I'm left wanting more from Elijah Hughes. If we're being really honest about it, I'm not saying that he's played poorly because he certainly has not. But I want more from more guys. And again, I'm trying to be careful with the way I say it, but like Azubuike and Forrest, I think are going to have a tough time finding minutes. I think obviously Forrest is the candidate to play more minutes, but if you look at Brantley or you look at Elijah Hughes, I want more from Elijah Hughes.
Meaning just more performance.
Yeah, I want to see. He's scoring the ball fine, but I want to see more consistency. It's really hard to do well in Summer League. You have to be really selfish. You have to be like a lot of these put-back dunks we're seeing, a lot of these, spectacular plays come out of individual moments and individual achievements. That's not what the Jazz need out of their young players. They're not the Orlando Magic. They're not the worst team in the NBA that
Rockets.
that needs rookies to emerge. That's not who this team is. You're not going to get a significant contribution from a young guy on this team. It's probably not going to happen. But you'd still like to see development because there are trades to be made.
Yeah.
You're growing your value. You're putting things on tape. To me, Elijah Hughes has been I expected more based on what I'd seen over the offseason from Elijah. I had expected more in Summer League. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's not unfair.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
I don't know. Like, I guess I'm trying to figure out how much weight and how much leverage to put into Summer League because I naturally don't put that much into it. Mm-hmm. I just don't. It doesn't feel like there's a lot there for me.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think I guess a natural question would be, what would So for you, like, what would make it more important? Like, a guy like rehabbing an injury and playing these games for like rehab purposes, or like, I guess to me it's just simply a talent development tournament. That's all it is. So it doesn't, summer league is a proving ground. That's all it is. I mean, for guys like Trent Forrest and Elijah Hughes and, unfortunately not for Butler, but, for guys of his stature,
Yeah.
like that's what summer league's about. And you can't tell me that, with Donovan and Mike and all these guys here, you can't tell me that these guards are not learning from these two, and working on the game with them and doing all that. I mean, they are. So I don't know, man. I think it is, from a win-loss perspective, it doesn't mean a damn thing. But, man, in the regular season, when you're wondering who's going to back up Mike Conley, this is an important time.
Yeah, and I guess when I look at, like I'm looking at some of the numbers, and you look at the guys that are playing a lot of, you look at the guys that are playing a lot of minutes, all I'm saying is there's just not a whole lot there.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of there. The teams at Summer League that suck, there 9 out of 10 guys are not going to be on your roster, right? So
yeah, it's true.
I don't know that it. Like I said, I don't know that it means anything. Like beating the Dallas Mavericks last night.
It doesn't mean anything, but it's still,
you didn't beat the
still
Dallas
like
Mavericks.
To see him hit those free throws to seal the game.
Yeah, I guess so. Stephen Ling says you're adding a swear jar to the show. Sorry, I read that one already. Morning Met. There's a comment. Ace is back.
Ace.
Ace says you talk about Summer League every day. Okay, tell me what I should talk about.
Help us, Ace.
Go ahead.
What should we talk about, bro? I would love, honestly, I'm not even being snarky. I would love some suggestions.
James Knight says NBA Summer League is a pretty ordinary standard. Brandon Whiteside retracted his message. Okay. I listen, there's not a whole lot going on. We're going to talk QB battles here in a minute with BYU and Utah. And, but when you do a show every day, you're not certainly on any day that you do a show. I don't know that the microphone almost fell off the desk. I don't know that you are trying to reinvent the wheel. I mean, there's not a whole hell of a lot to talk about. Training camp's been very quiet. I'm not the guy that sits here and talks about Aaron Rodgers 18 straight days.
What?
What's leading the NFL news cycle? Dak Prescott saying he wants to play, and cool. Do you really care about what Dak Prescott says in training camp?
I think that's HIPAA.
Right? I mean, hey man, cool. Let's talk about, I don't know, cursing in Five Guys Fries.
That's the beauty of a podcast.
Yeah, we love the NBA. We're passionate about it. So we're always going to talk about what we're passionate about.
By the way, there's football on tonight. Anybody care?
No.